Laura had just gotten out of the shower. She dried her hair and began to dry the rest of her body. She was extremely tired because her boss had been out, and she was next in line for command. No one listened to her, which had stressed her out all day. Laura was not the type to tolerate disrespect, so she did what anyone would do. She threatened everyone with warnings and suspensions. After that, everything went smoothly. The mirror was foggy, and the air was humid, which made Laura want to sit there and not leave the bathroom. She sat on the toilet, thinking about her day. A sound came from the front door. Laura could hear it open, and began to worry that someone had broken into her home. "Hello? Who is there?" Laura yelled. The floor always creaked, but today it was unusually loud, and it gave Laura the shivers. No one should have a key to her house. Laura ran out of the bathroom and into her room, locking the door behind her. She sprinted to the left side of her bed, to a dresser with 3 drawers. She opened the 3rd drawer. Inside was a safe that required a code. Laura typed in the code, 3178. She took out the pistol stored inside and went to grab her phone, beginning to dial 911. Her hands began to shake, unable to hold the phone properly. The air felt colder. Laura ran to the closet and closed the door behind her. Her heart pounded faster and faster as she finally managed to dial 911. "What is the address of your emergency?" the woman on the other end asked. Laura's breathing became unstable. She didn't want to speak loudly, in case the intruder heard her. She whimpered and shook. "There's a man in my house. I need police." 319 Willow Street, Laura cried, holding the phone to her ear. "Okay, ma'am, the police are on the way." "Can you tell me exactly what you saw or heard when the suspect entered your house?" the dispatcher asked. "I didn't see him. I heard the door open and he sounds close." "Please help me," Laura said, peeking through a crack in the closet door. The man's voice and footsteps grew louder. Tears flowed down her face. "Are you in a safe location, ma'am?" the dispatcher asked. "Yes, I'm in my room in the closet," Laura cried, huddling in the corner. "Okay, ma'am, please stay on the line." "Officers are on their way," the dispatcher said. "Elizabeth, I know you're here. You tried to hide, but I found you. It took me a while, but I found your location. You just got up and left me, and it made me sad," the man yelled, walking into the room. Laura peeked through a crack in the closet door. She saw a bald man, covered in tattoos, holding a gun. He had scars all over his body and paced back and forth, whispering to himself. The man walked toward the closet, scratching at his arm. Blood dripped onto the floor. Laura stood still, terrified, hiding under a pile of clothes, hoping he wouldn't find her. The blood flowed toward her feet. The man noticed it, his eyes locking onto the trail. Laura's foot was visible beneath the clothes. The man pulled her from under them by her foot. "Please don't kill me," Laura cried, tears streaming down her face. "Why did you leave me?" the man yelled, pointing the gun at Laura, who sat on the ground, crying and shaking. "I don't know who Elizabeth is. Please don't do this," Laura pleaded. The faint sound of sirens could be heard in the distance. The man froze, his head jerking toward the sound. His breath quickened. He began pacing again, his voice erratic. The front door creaked. The man looked around the room, his pacing increasing as he screamed the same thing over and over again. "Not again. Not again. I don't want to go back. Please don't make me go back, Elizabeth," the man pleaded, holding the gun tightly. Suddenly, another figure appeared behind the erratic man. Another man, a police officer, holding a gun. "Please, put the gun down and put your hands in the air, sir," the officer shouted, his voice clear and commanding. Laura stayed on the ground, crying, hoping this nightmare would end soon. "I can't go back there, Elizabeth. Tell them. You have to help me," the man screamed, pacing back and forth, the gun still in his hands. "Sir, please put the gun on the ground, and we can talk this out. You don't have to go back." "We will help you," the officer said, his voice calm and slow as he approached. "No, you're lying. Just like she did when I was abandoned," the man shouted, pointing the gun at Laura. She curled up into a ball, shaking and crying. The officer continued to approach cautiously. Without warning, the gun went off. A bullet hit Laura in the leg. She screamed in pain. The officer tackled the man and quickly handcuffed him.